because it wasn't used with the
This
British
is not me
accent.
big timing. My sister's a doctor of Dickensian literature, so I'm going to have to call
You
her
need to
afterwards.
ask her.
and I'm
I
gonna
need to
say,
know that
"Listen,
this is true or
Yeah,
not.
before
Just tell
that,
me."
the accent was more like, "Hello, Governor, to be or not to be? Is that the question we're talking about?"
Well,
So I
have the reasons for wanting to watch the Netflix shows. I think I threw this in, interrupting you impolitely, but Luke Cage was one of the reasons I got beat down. I thought Luke Cage was horrible. And I love blaxploitation type things those were a lot of films that I watched as a kid, coming out on different things that I didn't know were blaxploitation. So they tried to emulate some of that stuff, and it was so horribly done.
So you watched the entire series?
Yeah, I watched the entire series.
So
I hated
both
it.
of those villains actually kind of had more complex
They did.
origins that kind of made you somewhat sympathetic to them as you got to the end.
And I liked those people. I like the guy that plays Luke Cage. It's
Mike
funny
Coulter?
did he first make his first appearance in the Jessica Jones?
Yeah, he did. He's kind of a block.
Oh, yeah, his character did? Yeah.
But actually, the first time he's on there, I was like, oh, I kind of dig him.
He's kind of
But
stiff.
I lost my interest there.
That's because he's got that hard skin. Hey-o.
I love Punisher, and I've still not watched Punisher just because of that bad taste in my mouth. And oh my God, I'm having a psychological breakdown moment.
Seriously,
that may be the moment when I was like, I'm done.
on this episode of Intervention.
But that may be where my fatigue came from. Is I watched it and it was a chore.
Punisher would not make you any.
Really?
Will not take you there. Punisher is about his PST.
Yeah.
PSTD.
PSTD.
STD.
His STPDs.
PSTD.
His
Stone Temple Pilots.
STPs.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's very heavy. It's very heavy, and
I like heavy, but I don't like.
Hey,
I don't
he's
like
not
him.
heavy. He's my brother.
I don't like them all to be that dark.
No, I like some
they did a
hope.
great job in the Avengers movie of doing a lot of humor.
I did too.
They did a lot of humor, and what I loved was they knew how to do the Guardians of the Galaxy humor, and they still knew how to do Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Iron Man humor that was different. And the actors delivered it different, and it wasn't just goofy.
Well, Iron Man
you
and
got to
Spider-Man
Guardians-
were like a father and a son. Here
Right.
he is almost protecting his kid, but at the same time admonishing him. And that's why eventually we talked about this before. I thought Peter's death, yes, you can say it takes too long, but the reason to me it works is because of what they've set up before, the relationship
Oh,
they
yeah,
have between
yeah, of
them.
course.
Right.
In that moment plays, and to the point where you almost have tears in your eyes. But I wanted to ask this. Do Peter and Tony Stark have that relationship in the comic books?
No.
Because nowadays they're the same age. There's no father-son
really?
dynamic. There's like a father-son dynamic in the fact that Tony's richer and smarter, and so Peter will work with him and stuff. And Peter, they changed it so much where Peter had his own company and not his own company, and being a school teacher and not a school teacher.
They don't on a regular basis interact. When you think about the history of comics, Spider-Man was never really an Avenger until about the last decade, and that was something that Bendis did.
put in, yeah.
And Bendis is currently or just finishing up his run on Iron Man, and Spider-Man got to a point where he created a conglomerate, and he was he's basically Iron Man-esque.
Yeah.
But
Parker
they didn't
Industries.
have a relationship. I mean, they interacted more recently than they used to. So this is not a thing. And Peter Parker's in his 20s in the comics, right?
Right. So did Peter Parker ever have that type of suit in the comics?
The Iron Spider suit.
Yeah. Iron Man made that for him. Tony Stark
that was
made
pretty
that.
slick. I
It was
have to
during
admit.
what was it? Civil War.
Yeah.
What I like so far with that kid is that what little I've read because of you, Sean, he has that glee that I expect Spider-Man to have. And I think that's half of what you're talking about is the character. When you put somebody like a youthful Spider-Man in there, there is a joy that has to be there. Even in these horrible situations, he's bringing the jokes about, I don't want an alien busting out of my chest. And we can all relate to it. We know what he's talking about. And it's funny. And it allows us to step in with him because that's what we want is a hero that brings us with them.
They did a really good job of getting all of the characters' tone.
Yeah.
Correct,
in this movie. That's
I mean,
what
it felt
really
like
enjoyed
you were
about it.
watching a little mini Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and then a little mini Black Panther
that's
movie,
true.
and then a little mini Doctor Strange movie combined with Iron Man and Spider-Man.
When we got to that ending, I was really counting like, okay, what are the players on the board? Like, what chess pieces are left? Because that happens in comics all the time, where you get a scenario where You've got all the players, and then certain chess pieces are brought to the board to actually kind of continue on to whatever the quest is, and that felt very much like that.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, like Rocket's on his own. I think all the other Guardians are gone, and
yeah, they were, weren't they? Yeah,
stuff like.
I was surprised that I didn't once find myself bored with the film, and I'm not saying that these all bore me, but usually at some point you're kind of like, okay, where are we getting to next? But I found myself invested and interested
with
in
so many
all the
set
characters
pieces,
in the moments.
And the pacing was good on it. You didn't feel like you were flying around a whole lot, and you also didn't feel like you were going to too many places. It felt like it was paced perfecly.
It made me actually want to go back and watch some of the films again.
Yeah,
to tell you the truth.
I suppose I was wondering as I was watching it if there was because I knew it was going to be a second part. And I knew our heroes can't win. I mean, you can't get to the end of the first part of the movie and all the heroes are happy and they're having a good time and they beat Thanos and there's nothing to continue on, right? They had to go to defeat.
Yeah.
That had to happen in this movie. But I was kind of wondering if they were going to let Thanos have all of the stones in this movie
or not. Yeah.
And when that flip was going to happen and what kind of things were going to go there. So my question is to the movie or in the next movie is, will we see some of the characters that were killed before the wipe away?
Before the snap?
Come back?
I don't think so. I think Gamora, yes. I don't think anybody else.
You think they'll bring... Well, they have to, right? They wouldn't do it in the Guardians, right?
Yeah. And so I'm trying to...
They want to let Loki go?
I think Loki's...
And Heimdall?
Heimdall, gone.
Heimdall, who's Heimdall?
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, yeah.
Idris Elba.
Yeah. Which sucks.
So they killed the three of them before the wipe away? Was anybody else die before that? After that?
So I think if you listen, the radio says like half of the Asgardians are still alive. So he kept his theory of he only killed half the Asgardians. So Valkyrie is still alive and Korg and probably Meek and all that on the half that are still alive.
There was a weird thing. Did you guys go to Alamo to watch it?
Do what?
Did you guys go to Alamo to watch it?
Yeah.
Cinemark.
Yeah.
Alamo had those pre-show, and they actually mentioned the Valkyrie in the pre-show. That made me do they know something?
Yeah,
they did.
Maybe she'll be in the
I thought she was
going
to pop up in the movie, and she didn't at all.
So as I went home and told my wife,
how many kids, 9, 10-year-olds, are going to go see this movie and absolutely just be destroyed?
Oh yeah, without question. So to that point, I went home and I said to Shelley, I said the next time that we have, I'm sorry, I'm choking on a little bit of spit there. I at least had to give the understanding why I'm going to keep coughing because it's not good. Hang on. I said to Shell, I was like, you've got to go see this. It's great. You're going to love it. And Shell's one big downfall with this is who's going to die. I want to know now. And I'm like, I'm not telling you. She's like, I know they're going to die. But then she was able to do this. It better not be my man Chris Pratt because I love Chris Pratt. Wait, they wouldn't do that because they couldn't make any more Guardian movies, and they're going to make more of those. And that's what she starts listing. And I thought,
she's going to be...
That may be the one downfall, at least because while she likes Loki,
more movies are coming. Yeah,
you're not going to kill Thor. You're not going to kill Captain America. I do think you have to have lasting deaths for this film series to work.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that one. I mean, the whole point behind the power of the stones, or what they call them, stones in this movie, not gems.
The Infinity Stones.
The whole point behind this is that things can be undone, and so you get to the end and these people are wiped away. You're like, oh, they're going to actually have this point to come back.
It's hard to see, but if you look, it looked like the glove was like singed or tarnished, which makes me think he made such a big thing that it'll be somehow he can only make one more change and he can undo some stuff.
Well, I mean,
then the glove will be destroyed.
His redeeming moment will bring Gamora back.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to redeem the character of Thanos.
And then in doing that, destroys one of the stones.
But all I kept thinking when they're trying to pull it off, I was like, cut the fucking glove off. Cut his arm off. They've got all of these tools they're stabbing each other with. Why didn't they just cut it off?
Well, you saw all that work that Stark did. He only got one drop of blood off him. So you think they can cut his arm off?
Faster than they could have pulled that damn glove off.
Well, you also have to remember, Strange said there's 1 in 114 million combinations of stuff that he saw when they won. This is that combination. So they're supposed to lose at this point.
And I get that.
Oh, that's actually a good point. Strange actually foreseeing what's supposed to happen. That's why he did
Peter Quill getting in his face and screwing everything up is all part of the plan. He just didn't know that.
As soon as basically he kind of explains himself to Tony, I thought the same thing. He's like, he knows what's going to happen. He knows how this works.
Because I think Thanos is the only one that can undo it.
But in moments like that, going back to the glove, they at least should have tried to cut the glove off. So that they could have said, you can't. because I'm sure I was not the only non-Marvel fan in the world that said, cut his fucking arm off.
That's what, they could have done that with Thor, too. Thor could have gone straight for the arm instead for the kill.
Yeah.
So who's left?
Well, we got Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow. Technically, maybe Hawkeye and Ant-Man. Who knows?
They might show up.
Shelley know that her next person was they better not touch Hawkeye.
Rocket. The females from Wakanda.
Shuri is still around.
Yeah.
Michonne from Walking Dead.
Yeah. M'Baku. I'm trying to go through the properties.
We got Hulk.
Hulk is still there,
but he's
clearly hiding out.
He has
issues.
Well, he's upset with how his defeat.
Yeah, he's
There's
scared.
something about this whole thing that's making him scared.
Right.
And so you kind of guess that plot point is going to be relevant to their
That's
victory.
Going to be huge.
Somehow they're going to bring Vision back.
I actually think so. I think Shuri's
because
going to
he's
bring
in
Vision
his
back.
white body.
Yeah, he's still there. Shuri.
What did you see? You saw Black Panther?
Yes,
his smart
sister.
sister.
Oh, his sister.
Yeah.
I think his sister. She was already doing some work on Vision.
I bet she was the only part of Black Panther that I wish they'd dialed down just a little bit. I thought she was charming, and they went too far with her.
Did they? I didn't think they did enough with her. I thought she was just kind of
liked
there.
Her.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think she could potentially bring Vision back. I agree with that. I loved that we got Nick Fury in this one, and then bye.
Yeah.
I thought for sure like he would still be there, but no, I guess not.
Did think that at least the funny thing with the coda at the end when he evaporated.
Yeah.
We finally got a Samuel L. Jackson of him dropping an MF.
I know. The Marvel Universe.
Of course, I want the next movie to start with Alison Brie with her space pager seeing something, and then you just see her turn to dust too. Like, damn it!
Well, what I find interesting about that is there was a lot of hate on the internet for the fact that they showed her in her first kind of Captain Marvel costume. And I don't think a lot of people picked up that was a Kree costume, and not her traditional Captain Marvel costume.
That she's going to change the color scheme.
Exactly, the kind of light gray, green, blue, and the black outfit.
He doesn't know anything
about it. I know
nothing
about her.
Which would make sense why he would call her because she's already in space.
Yeah, so she will know more. Maybe she has resources that we don't know about.
Correct. So we might actually see a Kree army. There might actually be something beyond just the Avengers.
Yeah,
we might see an army there. You're like, what?
All right, my friends, we're 25 minutes in. I think that's enough.
We got more episodes. We have
Avengers
we're not even
talk.
halfway done yet.
Can we deem that one closed?
I think so.
Sure.
All right, let's go talk monkeys.
Fine.